So today I'm talking about a P0400 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. And so what is a P0400 code? Well, it's an exhaust gas recirculation flow. And what does this mean? Well, basically, there's what's called an EGR valve that takes exhaust gases and feeds them back up into the engine, which lowers the combustion temperature and helps to reduce nitrogen oxide, which is an emission. And so basically, this is for emissions. And these EGR valves can be designed differently. They can even work differently. Older vehicles, they were vacuum controlled, while newer vehicles, they're going to be more electronically controlled. So if you do go to work on your vehicle, be sure to get a diagram to know exactly what's going on with your specific vehicle. But basically, the computer is controlling this EGR valve and just opening it to let the exhaust gases flow back up into the intake, which is going to go into the engine and lower the combustion temperature. But when you get this P0400 code, the computer's seeing some kind of problem inside of the system, mainly that the exhaust gases that are supposed to be flowing up into the intake, that there's some kind of issue going on there, that they're not flowing correctly or something. And so it's going to have to be troubleshooted to know why. And so what would be some possible causes of a P0400 code? Well, the first thing that could cause this is that EGR valve has gone bad. It just needs to be replaced. There's some different ways to go about testing that EGR valve. There's some good YouTube videos on that. A very common problem with these EGR valves and the passages that flow from the exhaust to the intake is that they get all clogged up and they get a lot of buildup inside of them from all those exhaust gases that keep flowing through it. This is very common, especially with this code, is that all those passages in the EGR valve just got clogged up. So quite often you could just take them off, clean them up real good, put it back on, clear the code and see if the code comes back, because this is a very common problem. But the first thing that could cause this is that EGR valve's gone bad or everything is all clogged up. And the next thing that could cause this is that there's some kind of wiring issue, like there's a bad connection or there's an open or short or something like that, that's just causing the computer to get bad information. And so if that EGR valve is good and there's no blocked passages or anything like this, then it can be a good idea to get a schematic for your particular vehicle, since there will be differences. You can just check and be sure that you got a good ground, that you got a good 5-volt reference voltage, that the signal wire going back to the computer is good. And different things like this. Basically, just be sure that there's no problem inside the wiring, because the next thing that could cause this is some kind of wiring issue. The last thing on the list is going to be a bad sensor, and this is going to be a sensor related to the EGR valve. So this is going to be like a pressure sensor or a DPFE sensor or possibly a MAP sensor or something like that. Which sensors are related to the EGR valve is going to be different, is going to depend on the vehicle. So again, there's going to be differences, but it's possible one of these sensors has gone bad. If one of these sensors do go bad, usually you're going to get another code. So for example, if you got like a P0107 manifold absolute pressure, barometric pressure sensor circuit low, then it's a good idea to go check out that MAP sensor and be sure it's working correctly. Another example would be like a P1197 code, differential pressure sensor, intake manifold, high input. If you got this code, then it's a good idea to go check out that DPFE sensor and be sure it's working correctly. So if you are getting other codes, be sure to pay attention to that, because the last thing on the list is going to be a bad sensor. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a vehicle with the P0400 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.